upon a time in the castle 10 men, Ping and Garrow were gazing at the market. They were both starving with no home. They quickly become friends and helped each other. They had been on the run now for hours, and the shopkeeper they had tried to steal from had sent a couple of the shop workers about to get them. Once he had heard a wizard from the army utter a spell about how to make your arm disappear, and he said the words and opened the door and reached for the loaf of fresh bread. But the shopkeeper saw him outside and hanging around. He had been watching them out of the corner of his eye. So now it was turning dark, and Ping and Garrow were going back to their little shack on the top of the building. As they made their way there, Ping wanted to go by the army barracks to watch the wizard's train. Maybe they would teach him a spell. Garrow had no interest whatsoever about spells. He thought spells were a waste of time, and if you wanted to do something, you should do something yourself. And so Garrow went to the shack, but Ping watched the wizards for a long time. After a while, an older wizard noticed him. He wasn't in a uniform like the others. He had dark green robes and a belt, with an assortment of holders and pouches and a dagger. The wizard kept looking at him with a funny look. Then he approached him. As Ping ran, the man muttered something unrecognizable under his breath, and his feet wouldn't move anymore. He thought, oh great, just great. Now I'm going to have to spend some time back in the jail with all those stinky, mean men. But when the wizard reached him, he said, I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but I really wanted to speak with your parents, he said flatly. I don't have any parents, thank you very much. Well, then there's no need to get grumpy. I was just wondering if you might want to come to my cottage sometime and I could teach you some spells. You smell very strongly of magic, you know. I do, said Ping, sniffing himself, but all he smelled was dirt and sweat. Well, anyway, said Ping, I can't go because of the guards. Oh, just tell them that you were going to see Master Robin. So will you come? I will think about it, said Ping, trying to hold back his excitement. What would Garrow say? I'll bet he will be impressed, he said to himself. The next morning, Ping and Garrow awoke at the same time. As they walked down the alleyways, Ping told him about Lauren's offer. You might give me some food, too. You should be way more careful with those wizards, he said. Well, anyway, I'll be back by noon at least. As Garrow wandered off looking for an unwary shopkeeper, Ping slipped off towards the south gate. The guards told him to stop, but he told them that he was going to see Master Lauren. They looked impressed and even a little scared. As he went outside of the castle, he realized how little he knew about the wizard, or the lane outside the castle. He had only been outside the castle once before, but he had been heavily punished by the guards and never tried to do it again until now. As he wondered which way to go, the old wizard materialized from the forest and said, Come along now, we don't have forever. With surprising speed, the wizard strode through the forest. Ping had to trot to keep up. He started to regret his decision to go into the wizard's cottage. When they arrived at his cottage, he ran right into the door because the cottage was so camouflaged. The wizard chuckled and opened the door for him. It wasn't like a normal wizard house. It had a fireplace, an armchair, and there wasn't any potions or cauldrons, but there was a lot of books. The books were orderly and neat bookshelves and a closet packed to the brim with them, and a few on the table. Ping looked at them. He was amazed, for a magic book was a rare thing, and the wizard had so many of them. All the books he could cost a fortune. Ping asked the wizard, Can I read some of them? He asked, dashing over to the table and opened the book. It was blank. What? Said Ping. Ask before you try to read my master book, he said. Your what? A master book. It's a magic or a book where a wizard writes all of his spells. They're the most useful spells, said Master Lauren, but of course I put a lock on it. Said Ping. Does all magic books have locks on them? No, said Master Lawn. There would be hardly any wizards, then, said Lorne. Now come along over here. I wanted to ask you yesterday, but wizards need some privacy. So, would you consider being my apprentice? He said. Really? Ping said. Really? He said. Okay. Can we get started then? Can I fly or be invisible? Or he was cut off. Lorne said, one question at a time. Now, magic is very hard and difficult. You might just be able to pick up a pebble right now, let alone be invisible. Said Ping, disappointed. Isn't that right, Harry? Yes, said a voice from in the shadows. Ping spun around and saw a tall boy with red hair and a heavy back cloak. Meet my other apprentice, said Master Lawn. Ping thought he looked okay. He didn't sound stuck up or annoying, but he looked a little scary. Harry, go show him your rooms. You and him will be sharing for a round. What? Said Harry. With him? Ping was just as pleased. Can I sleep? I can't sleep here. I have to go back to the castle. Well, in that case, then show him where he can put his bags, he said. I suppose that's in my room, said Harry, grumpily. And I will have to duel him because we're apprenticed in the same year. A duel, said Ping alarmed. Master Lawn sighed. Only one of you can be apprenticed to me is the wizard way. He sighed heavily. Even those wizards in the army, with their fancy little uniforms and armor, have to obey that rule. Ping was surprised. What's wrong with the castle wizards? For one thing, they have no respect for magic. They don't use it properly. Oh, said Ping. Harry, go show him your rooms, he said sharply. As Harry walked into the back of the cottage, out of the hearing range of Master Lawn, he said, don't talk to him much about the castle wizards. With him, he gets upset as you saw. Come on, I'll teach you how to lift something. I remembered how bad I wanted to try magic when I first came here. Okay, said Ping, brightening up a bit. Just give me a second here, he said, rummaging around under his bed. Here it is, he said, and he opened his book to a page. It was covered in different signs and symbols. Don't worry, said Harry. Master Lawn will teach you how to read magic soon enough. First, you'll need to memorize the spells before you read them, so you see it. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you what your name was. Ping, said Ping. That's a cool name. I wish I had a name like that, said Harry. Harry is such a boring name, and Ping will be easier to use magically. Magic can be difficult, especially when you can't say your name right. You talk about it as if it was like a person, said Ping. It is in a way of sorts. It talks to you in your head. It drove me crazy at first, but I'm used to it now, and I can understand some of it. So magic, its name, no? Said Harry. And don't ever tell anybody the name. It gives you, or the other wise people can control you, and it will be very bad. I don't know my magic name yet, but I have a couple of ideas, said Harry. Well, you'll find yours too, like me. They talked for a long time until Ping left to seek Garrow again. The training proceeded like this, with mornings with Ping and the afternoon Lorne spent with Harry. Harry didn't care if Ping beat him that much, but he did really want to win the duel. But earlier, while he still liked Ping, as the weekends turned into months, it became time for Master Lorne to pick one of the apprentices. Let one of the boys on to their senior year, and one would have to stay behind again for another year of training. Good morning, Master Lorne said. It's time for the duel. This early in the morning, said Harry. What do you expect? If enemies come in the morning, what are you going to do? Sleep? Now then, he said, on the side of the forest had been somewhat cleared with a circle of stones. Whoever steps out of the circle falls or pushes or floats or loses. um, you're, or if you're trapped or disarmed, you get 3 spells, no more. Come now, we don't have all day. Get in the circle. Okay, said the boys. Now ready, set, go, said Master Horn. Ping instead of an offensive spell did a shield. Harry did a moving solid and moved a tree branch at him. But Ping got out of the way and fired off his second spell. It made the ground near his feet turn into wet clay and then harden. But as he did that, Harry bound his hands together, and then the wind picked him up and started dragging him towards the edge of the circle. Ping was thinking hard. If he freed his hands, then that would be his 3rd spell, and then his feet would start to pass the edge of the circle. Then he said, and he had reversed the spell. Harry, feeling guilty that he had made his friend lose, had turned away so he wouldn't see his expression. Ping's spell worked perfectly. His hands flew together and he shot out of the circle, carried by the wind. Then Lauren cried, "Stop! Good job, Ping. That was very good spellmanship. You too, Harry, but never turn your back to your opponent." That night, Ping got one of his master books, and Lauren asked again, "Would you like to stay with me in the cottage? Can Garrow come every once in a while?" asked Ping hopefully. "Anytime you want, though. When you go home, he will have something to tell you," said Lauren. "How do you know that?" asked Ping, surprised. "You will learn soon enough." When Ping went back to the castle to tell Garrow goodbye, he ran up to him and said, "I got a job at the bakery." "Wow, I thought he hated you," said Ping. "He did, but while you were with Master Lauren, I started helping him. In return, he gave me some leftover food and some money, too," he said. "That's great," said Ping. And then he proceeded to tell him about the day. After he finished telling him, Garrow congratulated him, but then he said, "Will the high and mighty wizard care to see his old friend anymore?" said Garrow. "Hey," said Ping, and he chased them back to their shack on the top of the roof, and Ping and Garrow lived happily ever after. And that is the Homeless Magician.
So one day, Keejun, Kim, Jalen, Sil, and I woke up and got dressed and ate breakfast. Then we went to school. "I can't wait till 7th grade, Keejun yelled. 6th grade just started about a week ago," Jalen said. "But I can't wait to go either," I said. "Okay, everyone, I'm your substitute. My name is Mr. Sil. Today we will be talking about Hana Hangul. I know everyone here speaks Korean, but what about people from other states?" Mr. Sil said. "So we will teach our new student Raiku from Japan Korean language. Raiku can speak English, so who here can speak English?" Mr. So said. "Me," I yelled. "Seong and Ki-jun are assigned to teach Raiku Korean language," Mr. So said. "Okay, so we yelled. "Okay, Raiku, and we are going to teach you our language," I said. "Thank you very much," Raiku replied. "I hope we become great friends and go on adventures," Jalen said. Oh, but did we know we were going to have an adventure? So while we were doing our work, the ground started to rumble. The Chinese dragon showed up and warned them that Yakuza were coming. After that, the dragon disappeared. 5 minutes later, Yakuza showed up and transformed into werewolves. Everyone in the class, except for Raiku and I, got bit and turned into werewolves. Then suddenly, we turned into avatars. Raiku and I started to throw fireballs at the werewolves. But then we got tired. Haha, you ran out of power. So what are you gonna do now? These pistachios, I yelled, and picked up a bag of pistachios, and all of the werewolves and everyone turned back into humans, and everyone lived happily ever after. The end.